My name is Linda Turner. I'm 56 years old, and I never thought my quiet life in Ohio would turn into the kind of story people watch on YouTube. But here we are. For more than 3 decades, I was a wife, a mother, and a woman who believed that love could survive anything. My husband Greg Turner was my high school sweetheart. We met at a summer carnival when I was 17. He won me a stuffed bear by knocking down bottles with a baseball, and I thought that meant he was strong, confident, and mine forever. We got married a few years later, bought a small white house with blue shutters, and raised 2 kids there. I painted every wall myself, planted roses in the backyard, and cooked dinners while Greg came home late, smelling like oil and coffee from his job at the auto shop. We weren't rich, but we were happy, or at least I thought we were. Everything started to change after our kids left for college. The silence in the house became heavy, and Greg started spending more and more time working overtime. First, I didn't think much of it. I was used to being alone in the evenings. But then I found a lipstick stain on one of his dress shirts. I don't even wear lipstick. When I asked him about it, he laughed and said it must have come from a customer. The lie rolled off his tongue so easily it scared me. Over the next few months, little things started to pile up. Late-night texts, secret phone calls, a sudden interest in the gym and expensive cologne. The signs were all there. I just didn't want to see them. One afternoon, while folding laundry, I heard his phone buzz on the table. A message from someone named Vanessa popped up. "Can't wait to see you tonight, Redheart." My hands went cold. I didn't yell, didn't throw the phone, didn't cry. I just took a deep breath and finally accepted what my heart already knew. My husband of 30 years was having an affair. When I confronted Greg that night, he didn't even bother to deny it. He looked me right in the eyes and said, "I haven't been happy for years, Linda. I deserve a fresh start." Just like that. 30 years erased with one selfish sentence. I wanted to scream, to ask him what I did wrong, but I realized it wouldn't matter. His heart had already moved on. 2 weeks later, divorce papers arrived. But the real shock wasn't that he wanted out. It was that he demanded half of our house. The house I had inherited from my parents, fully paid off before Greg and I even met. He had no claim to it, yet there it was in black and white, requesting equitable division of property. I stared at that line for a long time and then laughed. It wasn't a happy laugh. It was the kind that comes from realizing you've been underestimated. I went to see my lawyer, Sarah Collins, a woman about my age with calm eyes and a sharp brain. After reading the documents, she smiled faintly and said, "Don't worry, Linda. He's digging his own grave. Let him think he's winning." Her words stuck with me. For once, I wasn't going to be the emotional one. I was going to be smart. So I played along. I acted polite during meetings, pretended to be confused about paperwork, and agreed to things that made him think I was too tired to fight. Greg mistook my silence for weakness. He started coming to the house to check on things while the divorce was being processed. Sometimes he'd take photos of rooms or ask strange questions about home repairs. One day I found a real estate brochure on the kitchen counter. Another day he left a measuring tape near the windows. That's when it hit me. He was planning to sell my house behind my back. I didn't stop him. Instead, I began collecting evidence like a detective. Every text, every visit, every word he said went into a folder. One night, I overheard him on the phone with Vanessa, laughing. "She's too soft to fight me," he said. "Once I get the house, we'll sell it and move to Florida." My hands shook as I hit the record button on my phone. That single sentence was all the proof I needed. A few days later, Sarah and I sat together in her office, and I played her the recording. She listened carefully and said, "Perfect. Let him continue. We'll stop him at the last moment." And so we did. When Greg came by the next week and suggested that maybe I should move out early so he could handle the sale, I smiled sweetly and told him, "That's very thoughtful of you, Greg. Maybe you're right." His face lit up like a Christmas tree. He really thought I was surrendering. He told me he and Vanessa would take care of everything through her agency. I nodded, pretending to agree, while Sarah was quietly preparing legal filings behind the scenes. A week later, an email accidentally reached my